Yo, Sonic the Hedgehog movie number 2 just came out, just released, and I want to talk about it. I just came back from seeing it, and I want to talk about it because it's on my heart and it's on my mind. And I love Sonic, you know. So, yeah, man. So, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie yet, and you don't want to be spoiled, this is your time to just like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and then come back at a later time and then watch this review. Okay? This is your time to leave. Okay? I'll give you 5 seconds because I'm going to get into this review reaction and we're going to be talking about it just a teensy weensy little bit, all right? So you get 5, 4, 3, Sonic 2, 1. Animated Mel. Yo, I am Animated Mel, and we're about to jump into this review right now. I already gave y'all a warning for the spoilers, so you've been warned. Now, this movie, I thought this movie was done really well. I thought this movie was done really well. I felt like it kept to the core of what Sonic is. Obviously, it's a kid movie, so there's going to be a lot of things in it that's a little kiddish, but still, it's an enjoyable movie overall. It sticks to the core of what we enjoy about Sonic. You know, it's more, it has serious moments, but it's also, it doesn't take itself too seriously where you can actually enjoy it and you have good laughs. And it also encompasses a few of the elements that we know and we love about Sonic. You know, as far as him having those chili dogs. You remember Sonic always chilling and eating those chili dogs, man. When the movie first starts off, we see Dr. Robotnik or Eggman. And we see like he's still locked up in this little mushroom village or mushroom world, mushroom realm or whatever. And he's finding ways to get up out of there. But he also has Sonic's blue hair. He has this little spike, you know. And using that spike, he's able to generate some energy and create a machine or some kind of entrapment or something to allow him to create a burst of energy that gets attention of the things within the universe. And then upon doing that, there's a ring that opens up on the planet that he's on, or the realm that he's in, and like 3 little soldiers come through, like what happened here or whatever. And then obviously Eggman, he sets them up and knocks them out and makes his way towards the ring. But as he's making his way towards the ring, you see like a big old shadowy figure stepping through, and Knuckles is like, where did you get that thing? Where did you get that? He was like, oh, this? Oh, I can show you. It's in a place called Earth. And so that will lead Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik having a little, you know, a little camaraderie, if you can say. And upon doing that, they make their way to track down Sonic. And Sonic, he's in a house still living with the humans. He got living with the girl and the guy. And they go on vacation to Hawaii. You know how dope that is though? They're going to a wedding. And instead of just packing a flight, they just use that portal, that ring portal, to just go on to another part of the world. That'd be so dope. Imagine if we had that in real life, to just be able to, you know, go through a portal. Hey, where you want to go? I'm going to Hawaii. Okay. Doop, doop, doop. That's so sick, man. I wish they had that. But yeah, so his dad, I guess you can say, and his girlfriend, they go to Hawaii, leaving Sonic in the crib by himself. You know, he's having fun doing his thing. And then there's a little portal that pops up, a little ring portal that pops up, and you see the shadowy figure of Eggman happening because all the lights go out, Eggman pops up, and then Knuckles comes through, and he's like, and bam, him and Sonic go at it, and Sonic is getting his ass whooped. And another dope part about this movie is Jim Carrey, man. He does Robotnik really well. And I don't think there would be a better Robotnik than what Jim Carrey displays. Granted, he's not as big as the Eggman that we know, which is totally fine in my opinion. But he he brings another element to Dr. Robotnik that we typically don't see within a Sonic series. Yes, there's a few comedic moments that happen in the games and a few other cartoon episodes, but Jim Carrey, he really brings the character to life. He has the perfect persona of diabolical and sinister, but also lackadaisical and funny, you know, so he brings a good element to that, and he keeps the audience engaged, and he's definitely the comic relief and for the bulk of the movie, while also being the villain. And so upon Knuckles showing up, Tails, he also shows up prior to that, and he's using his little radar to track Sonic. And then Tails, he ends up saving Sonic from this little scenario with Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles. And Knuckles reveals to Sonic, like, hey man, I'm looking for that Master Emerald. We get the story about how he's looking for the Master Emerald and all that stuff. That piques Dr. Robotnik's interest. That piques his interest. And then the story unfolds from there. Another favorite part of the movie that I really enjoyed is when they were Sonic and Tails, when they went to go track down the map or whatever, they went into like some Siberian bar. They went to some Siberian bar, and they ended up getting into a little breakdance scene, which is, you know, a nice little comic relief. It's not necessary for the storyline, but it's a nice little addition to add, you know. I guess it's more like a filler, you could say, but it's a nice little element. They start breakdancing and all that stuff, and in that moment it allowed Tails and Sonic to have their relationship come closer, because Tails, he's in a different world by himself, being picked, or, you know, he didn't have many friends. And obviously Sonic, he's the only of his kind on Earth, and so he doesn't have many friends. So to be able to unite those two and them to be able to build a nice little relationship is pretty cool. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles, they're telling Sonic and Tails, you know, to track down the Emerald, the Master Emerald. And when they find a location to get the Master Emeralds by look at the map. And then Sonic and Tails, they get there, get the Master Emerald, and as soon as they get the Master Emerald, bam, laser straight on their head. And that scene was pretty cool, because it's like they're running away, but they're being chased. You know, they're being chased, and they're going down all the snowy mountain. He gets on a snowboard from knocking out one of Robotnik's minions, and he's snowboarding down his mountain, which is a pretty cool scene. And then Knuckles sees that, and he chases right after him, man. And they get into a little fight, nice little scene. But then there's a moment where Knuckles and Sonic, they're speaking, and, you know, it seems like they're having a heart-to-heart. Knuckles is telling Sonic about his past, about how his tribe got eliminated, and how, you know, Sonic is also telling him that his people, they got wrecked, and they was just looking out for the best interest in him. So you could kind of see a union starting to form between the two. Tails, he shows up and is like, hey man, I got to get you away from Knuckles. And then he separates the two. But then there's like he's like, hey, take this little compass. And when that compass gets thrown, obviously Dr. Robotnik comes, swoops it up, bam. And then Dr. Robotnik shoots the missile, boom, knocks Tails out. And instead of going for the compass or the map that helps locate the Master Emerald, obviously Sonic is going to look out for his friend Tails and make sure he's okay. And then Knuckles notices this, like, instead of looking for the compass, he goes to aid his friend first, you know. And I thought that was a pretty cool little segment, because it allowed Knuckles to realize, like, hey, he's a real one. He is a real one, man. And there comes a point in time where Sonic, he has to escape, because there's like an avalanche coming. And this was a hilarious part, because at the wedding, there's a scenario where there's rings that happen. The rings get switched up, and then you'll have to see it, you know, where the rings get switched up, where the person was getting married, and instead of putting the ring on the finger, it's like, yo, I need to get that ring. I'm skipping over a lot of details, but long story short, he ends up in Hawaii with his parents. Sonic ends up in Hawaii with his parents. And then that's where you find out in the movie that the wedding was all set up as like government agents, and they were looking for Sonic. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles, they find the area where the compass goes, and then this compass gives them the location of where the Master Emerald is. It opens up. It's sort of like a Moses type thing. It splits the water up, and then the temple, it forms, and then there's a beam of light showing up, and then it gets everyone's attention who's on the island. And this part was pretty dope. I thought this was pretty cool. I felt like when they got into this temple where the Master Emerald was, this really encompassed everything that Sonic is. It had like the booby traps, it had spikes running, traps coming out. I thought that was so dope, man. Oh, I really loved that. And when Sonic eventually got to the temple, because a cool part about that, Sonic was running on water, because he can run on water for a certain period of time before he sinks down. But he was running on water, and he eventually made it to that island. And then upon making it to the island, how he got in, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And how he ended up getting in is he like slid down like, and that's actually how it is on some of the games, man. I thought that was so sick. I was like, yes. I was probably the oldest one in there. I was probably the oldest one in the theater, wilding out and getting hyped over this shit. I was just like, oh, this is so hype. I was getting so hyped through everything, man. And so when they get inside that temple, Sonic and Knuckles, they face off. They go at it. Boom, 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 ha, ha, hoo. And Knuckles is whooping his ass, knocks him away. And then Sonic, he charges up, bam, comes back, his boom, 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 boom. They started going at it, man. But meanwhile, Dr. Robotnik, he's up there at the little temple or whatever, looking at that Master Emerald. And that's when Knuckles shows up like, hey, you can't touch that emerald or whatever. And he's like, I thought we were friends. We had a deal. I thought we were friends. And this part had me rolling, because Dr. Robotnik was like, friends? he started getting weak. Like, he started laughing hard. Nobody in the theater was laughing. But as soon as Dr. Robotnik started laughing, he just kept laughing and laughing about Knuckles calling him a friend. I started rolling. I started getting weak. Like, this is funny, because obviously, Dr. Robotnik is a villain, It was pretty funny, man. But that leads to him getting the Master Emerald, and then he just becomes one with the Emerald. And once they leave, chaos ensues. The temple breaks down. Then Knuckles, he gets caught under, like, one of those poles and stuck underwater. And I thought this part was so cool. And he gets stuck underwater, so he's basically passed out. And Sonic sees him, and then he goes to rescue Knuckles. And obviously he's running out of breath. And how they oh my gosh, how they did this. The water temples. They didn't play the music, but they had the water bubbles. They showed the water bubbles, and then he, to get more oxygen, obviously he got the water bubbles and was able to stay long enough to help Knuckles out. And then upon Knuckles getting out of the water, they formed a nice little bond, a nice little camaraderie. And then Tails came, and then they all went to go take on Dr. Robotnik. This part was pretty dope. They're fighting, they're coming into a realization, and you get the airplane. Man, this was so dope. It was so dope, man. It was so dope. Dr. Robotnik, he with the Master Emerald, he forms like a big old machine to create the Robotnik machine or whatever. And they're fighting this big old machine, and then it comes to a point where they're setting him up, and they eventually knock him out to get those Chaos Emerald, to get that the big old Master Emerald out of him. Knuckles knocks it out of him, and it comes to a point where Sonic, he's whooped, like, the Chaos Emerald's right there. He gets to the Chaos Emerald, it ends up crumbling, and then he just has the 7 emeralds around him, and his parents or whatever come up and save him. And then he gets to the point where it's almost looking like they're about to get squashed by Dr. Robotnik. But then the unthinkable happens. Super Sonic, baby! I was hoping for this. I'm so glad it happened. Super Sonic came through in the clutch. And he had a very, very brief moment. But Super Sonic was in the movie, which was dope as hell. And basically Super Sonic whooped his ass, and it was dope. So I really enjoyed the movie. You have to see a lot of the little particular moments that made it a lot more hilarious, but still, man, overall a good movie. But make sure you stay until the end. I'm pretty sure if y'all watching this, y'all probably seen it, but they showed the next Oh my God, the show. Oh my God, the next one is going to be so sick. They got my boy Shadow. They showed my boy Shadow. They showed my boy Shadow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. They showed my boy Shadow. I did take some pictures, so maybe I'll show some pictures from what I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, they showed my boy Shadow. So overall, I really did enjoy the movie. The only thing that I would like to add, or the only thing that I would have wanted for the movie, is for them to actually play the songs that came from the original game. If they played or Ice Cap, especially when they were in the little sled part when they were snowboarding, if they play Ice Cap Zone right there, that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect, man. I was like, please, 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 man. But they didn't play any, which is all good, but I really wish they did that. That's the only thing I would really change. You know, I feel like a lot of things that happened with the humans was unnecessary. I feel like it would be okay if they had a lot more CGI than they do like the human part, but I get it, you know, you have to cater to particular audiences and have some human element, but I'm hoping at least in the third part they don't have many humans in there except for like Dr. Robotnik, you know. But yeah, overall really enjoyed the movie. I think it did the series really, really well. Really well. It's probably, in my opinion, it's probably the best adaptation for a video game. You know, I thought the first Mortal Kombat was a good adaptation, but I feel like this Sonic is really getting it right. I feel like they're getting everything right, man. So I am nothing but pleased with it. If I get a chance to see it again, I probably will, but I definitely enjoyed this. If you've seen that movie, let me know your thoughts about it, because I would love to converse about it and, you know, have a little powwow about it, man, because I really enjoyed it, man. It's really good, man. Nice comic relief, nice action from front to back, and definitely looking forward to the third one, Sonic 3 with Shadow. Boy, I know they better have that live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow somewhere. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, man, thank you all for checking out this reaction. I try not to make it too long, but it is what it is. I will see you beautiful people later. Holla. I'm just kicking it.